Hello, everybody, and welcome to Toffee Bluecast. What a show we have got lined up for you, so stay tuned in. We do get you massively involved. You comment, we read it out, we interact. It's that simple. You can comment from X. If you comment on X, you don't even have to come over on YouTube. It will still come over to us. We're paid so that can happen, so we can interact with you on X as well. And obviously, if you can come over on YouTube, there's a lot of Everton fans in the YouTube comments that are all our regulars, so that's pretty good for you as well. So try that out if you haven't tried that out yet. If you haven't hit that subscribe, it would be great if you could. No pressure, but we do want to build the subscribers to 10,000, maybe before the season starts. Today is transfer. It's what we all love, so I know you're all going to get involved. Me and Paul did an end of the season show, and people were talking about transfers. So although we wanted a little bit of a break, we are straight back in the kill, and we're coming at you now with transfers. Paul, talk to me on this one. It's always going to happen, isn't it, pretty quick?
Oh, always, especially when we've got a little bit of pocket change that we can spend. Although I did hear someone say yesterday that we've got likely to spend 150 million. No, I don't think it'll be that. I think that could be a little bit ridiculous. But we certainly do need some players because they're all out of contract, and we don't want to keep them all. So it looks as though we might spend a little bit anyway.
By the way, Paul is getting his house done whilst we're live on the channel.
Oh, sorry.
So if you hear someone drilling, it is actually a drill. Tell him, Paul.
So we're having downstairs floor put in, and you know how they're supposed to you'd imagine they'd turn up in the morning. It's all downstairs, so it's 4 rooms. So it's your living room, hallway, dining room, and kitchen, right? So we thought they'd turn up in the morning. Then we get a call, oh, we're not going to be in the morning, going to be in the afternoon. But then they don't, it's like 1:30, 2 o'clock, they've still not turned up. It's a big job as well. Still not turned up. Oh, they're on their way. They're on their way. 5:30, tea time. They turn up. I said, how long are you going to be? You're going to be carrying on tomorrow? He said, no, we're going to get it done tonight. I said, when are you going to finish? Oh, about 10:30. So there's all the plans out the window. So that's why I'm in Studio C at the moment. So honestly, any tradespeople in there, have you ever started a job at bloody 5:30 on a Friday?
Well, they'll probably fitted another job in, the cheeky buggers, but Paul has got Studio A, B, C, and I think it goes all the way to Z, people. So he will do anything to be on the Toffee Bluecast, and he will always be here. Of course he will. So we're just explaining the noise. If you do get noise there, but it should be fine. You mentioned, Paul, you said earlier on about budget, and it reminded me, I put a tweet out, you've probably seen it, and I put, how much do you think Everton will spend? Yeah. I think I written it as send instead of spend, wrong way around. Will spend this transfer window. And the 4 options that I'd give was around 50 million, around 80 million, around 100 million, around 150 million. On this survey, 22% says around 55 million. We'll start with the lowest, actually. Around 150 million was 14%. Around 50 million was 22%. Around 80 million was 30%. So 30% says around 80 million, Paul. And 33%, the winner, says around 100 million on the survey. And 683 people took part in that survey. So,
yeah. I mean, it all depends on who, doesn't it? Because we're not used to actually spending big money, I think. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think Richarlison still our biggest buy at 50?
Yeah.
And Sigurdsson was about the same. 50, I don't think we've gone beyond that. So yeah, it'd be unusual. It feels unusual for us to be in the market for spending any more than that, but it could happen. It could happen. I don't know how, but it could happen.
No, it really could happen, to be fair. You never know. I'm with these new owners, we don't know what we're going to get, do we? We really do not know what's coming or what we're going to get. And I think us being Everton fans, we're that used to getting excited and transfer windows being dead. I remember us doing a transfer window and assigning no one on the show. We've kind of set ourselves up not to be too positive now. Would you say that, Paul? That we try not to be too positive now because we've been let down a lot on transfer windows. So I think we're grounded.
Yeah, we try not to be too positive because we're Everton fans, and to be too to be too positive is to be let down again and again and again. But we're a positive channel, so we'll have it in our heads that we're going to do some decent deals. I said someone to yesterday, and we'll get into this in a moment in sort of positions and stuff. I think if we don't get another striker in and start him ahead of Beto and DCL, then I think we probably failed. And that's for people to decide on what is the most important positions, and that's what we're going to be speaking about.
Yeah, well, I put a. It's funny you said that because I put something on TikTok earlier on saying how many goals do you think Beto will score this season, and I'll let you know later on what you think that will be. Have you got anything on positions, Paul? Should we do it on lineup builder, or have you got some stuff there? Like,
No,
should we just move lineup?
I can get lineup builder. Just
Maybe just move an empty lineup builder about. We'll talk about positions. What we'll do, people in the comments, is we'll talk about positions, what we feel we need. And then me and Paul have put together all the Everton players that have been linked. So we'll talk about positions and then we'll go into the Everton players that have been linked to us. And you can let us know whether you like them, whether you don't want them. And you can also give us whoever we've missed out, because I'm pretty sure we would have missed someone out. But yeah, we'll look at positions first. So we'll do this proper, Everton fans in the comments. I can see Lulu in there. Everything Everton. He loves his transfer windows. Everything Everton does. So really happy you're here. Stay here. So we'll look at what positions we need, and then we've got some players to chuck on the screen that have been linked. First of all, why Paul's getting the
okay.
Why Paul's getting that, I'm just going to chuck on the screen, Paul. Where is it? Where is it? Something that's caused a little bit of an uproar, 50-50. What do you think, people? What do you think, Paul?
Oh, yeah.
What do you think? What do you think of the comments? Let us know.
It's all right. It's all right. I'm normally quite positive on the new kits. It reminds me, Chelsea had a shirt similar in the 80s. I think when Pat Nevin was playing for them, with that kind of stripes going across. It reminds me a lot of that, to be honest. I was thinking about this before because I saw a few posts about the concept kits. There's lots of people who put together their own designs, aren't there? And some of those are awesome. They're really, really good, I think. And it's a missed opportunity. I don't know why shirt suppliers, Castore, don't just sort of open it up to fans. Think of the great kits that they could have on offer, the great designs from Everton fans, and they're choosing one that an Everton fan has designed instead of coming up with, their own. I just think it's a missed opportunity. It's okay. It might grow on me, but it's not my favorite at all.
See, I did put it as a tweet on X. I put, I'm not a fan of it. I expect something better, and I put it's something that probably could have been designed in 5 minutes. And like you said, I think I've seen better concept kits. And these concept kits are just people that are not professionals going on a website and ticking all these things to make a kit within 5 minutes. You've got professional designers that make these kits. There should be a lot of thought going into them. It's their only job to make the Everton kit. Like, I know they've got jobs with loads of other stuff with that brand, but you'd like to think that they nail it with a football club. And I'm not massively impressed. They ain't. I'd say that's probably meant to be the sea, Paul, the waves. A few people.
I was just thinking the kits that we've liked the most have got some sort of depth behind it, some sort of story behind it. You know, whether it be the Archibald Leach crisscross designs on the sleeves or things like that. If that is the case, then yeah, I presume the wavy lines are for water because it's the dock. But
Because
yeah,
we're
I
moving
mean,
to the Bramley Moor dock, yeah.
it's a bit juvenile, isn't it? Really, it's a little bit kiddish if that's the only thing on there.
You always I think some people just don't want a loud kit now. We've had a lot of loud kits, and I've
Mm.
heard that the second kits are really good though, and I do think it is because I had a glance, but I didn't look at it properly. But it's a proper retro, like a double retro. I do think the second kit's good, but I think they all should be good personally. So some people have said, I think a lot of people will buy the home kit because it's the blue, it's the royal blue.
Of course,
I just think it should be better. You'll always get some. You can't have an opinion on this because if you say you don't like it, you'll always get some Everton fans that just want to be a positive Everton fan and say, "Stop being miserable. If you don't like it, don't get it." And that's what they'll say to you. But then you've got to think if we're going to be a successful football club, we need to sell as many kits as we can.
yeah.
I
I
think we need
also
to
think
nail
I
everything.
also think sometimes the kit that is leaked um, is often a is often leaked by the actual people who make the kit.
Yeah, to see
You
the
know,
reaction.
to see,
And
yeah, just
people,
to put it
yeah,
out there beforehand and see if there's an absolute backlash. And if there isn't, then you can sort of go ahead with it. With this
yeah.
one, I haven't seen a backlash. I haven't seen lots of people upset. I'm slightly disappointed with it. That's all.
Well, like I say, a lot of people being positive and saying when it's in the full kit, it will look nice. We're allowed to give our own opinion on it at the end of the day. We're
Oh,
allowed to say whether we like it. If we don't, I suppose we've got to get on with it. Of course we have, because it's not going to change. But that is apparently the home kit. The first picture leaked was apparently a fake. The badge was probably on the belly button. That one that I've just put up there is the more real, and I think it is the real one. And someone said it looks better in person. I get what they've tried to do with the collar, Paul, the old sort of retro style. We've had that collar as a retro collar, haven't we? But
yeah, I recognise that collar from like an '87 NEC kind of
yeah,
kit. Um, yeah,
had potential. I just think it had potential. We're allowed to give our opinion, basically, people. And I just don't think wow. And I think we've got a few in the comments that have got what they're saying in the comments, Paul. What winds me up is a sleeve without cuss, Rodgers says. The waves of the Royal Blue Mersey. Basically, everything Everton
yeah,
says it's.
shite.
Yeah, so it's not just me moaning then. Fair enough.
No,
Makes
no.
makes
I
me feel a
think
bit
it's
better.
I mean, it'd be. Is there anyone who loves it? You know, I
Even the
mean,
people that even the people that are trying to be positive about it, saying it's okay. They're not saying it's a world beater. They're saying it's okay.
yeah, and maybe it's not going to be the case, but it's what we're given at the moment. So
No, I do like it. Right, so let's crack on to the main stuff, people. We are going straight in there, and we're going to blast through this because I want to crop some of this and put it on the TikTok if we can, because this is interesting stuff. It's what we all love talking about. The person who designed it, yeah, exactly. I agree, Lily. I really do.
that's lovely, love. Put it on the fridge.
What have we got in positions, Paul? Have you got something to chuck on to have a look at positions? I feel like I'm going to get stuck in here.
Yes, mate. Yes,
Roll the
mate.
sleeves up.
Here we go. Show the tats.
What have we got?
There you go.
Yeah, get the guns out, sun's out. Someone actually did me a kale edit earlier on. It was really good.
Oh,
On TikTok. He said, "Do you want me to do your kale edit?" Did me a Tim Kale edit.
oh, where are we? You're not coming on. Oh, I don't know what that is. Oh, it's an advert. There you go. That's fine.
Was it? Here we go.
Adverts galore. So yeah, there we go. So we got I might mute a little bit while I just hold on to the graphics.
So what we're going to do is we're going to look at formations and stuff like that. Just seeing if I can get it. Just because Paul might get a little bit of noise. So if I take it over now, Paul, it should. I think I've got it as well. So take that down. Let's have a look. Let's share screen. Here we go. Right. So what are we saying then, Paul? What are we going to stick with the formation that we think that? Are we going to play the three centre backs or not? I don't think we're going to play that much this season, although a few people probably do think that.
I would be surprised if it changed. I mean, Moyes was playing 4-2-3-1 when he was with us the first time, so I don't think much is going to change in that respect.
Did he play with wing backs at West Ham? Is that what got in a lot of people's heads? Did he play three centre backs and wing backs with West Ham? I can't remember.
I'm not sure.
So we'll stick with this one here. Look, this is roughly what we're going to be using into Paul. This one, to be fair, 3-2-3. That's the formation that we're going to be
aiming
into.
4-2-3-1. Yeah.
So, right, we're not going to put anything in because we don't need to, but we'll talk about the players later on. So, what would you say? And I put it out earlier on, Paul. What would you say is the main position we probably need?
Striker for me. Striker. Although you could argue right hand side in a couple of positions.
Let's put our actual team in actually, because it might give us more. Striker, you're saying, is the main one. I put right wing. I did.
Yeah, I know. Well, I just think, like I said before, I just think if we went into the new season with DCL or Beto as our number one striker, I think we've failed in the transfer market. If we're trying to get, say, top 8, top 9, for example, I just think we need a more consistent person to put the ball in the net. I really do.
You know what? Do you know now when I'm putting these players in, would you put Tarkowski there or would you put an O'Brien right back?
Well, I think if we don't get someone in, then you would imagine with Tarkowski and Branthwaite both fit, and Branthwaite staying, by the way, then O'Brien would fit well into that right back position. So we'll basically put our strongest. That's what it would be.
We'll put our strongest lineup then. Yeah, we'll do what you said. We'll put our strongest lineup because I feel that, like you say, we've got to imagine that we're signing no one and then try and strengthen it up, if you know what I mean, and see what we need to add in positions. James Garner. I mean, we have got players to chuck on the screen after this. We're just going to identify positions, and then what we're going to do is we're going to chuck the players up that we've been linked to and stuff like that, and see what you think of the players, people. Alcaraz here now. We can't even put Corey in there, Paul. We ain't got that dilemma next season.
No, we haven't. That'll be refreshing.
There he is, the Argentine. Everybody, what do you think of that? You happy we got a deal done, Paul? Good money, wasn't it?
Yeah, I mean, it was a better deal than we originally thought, I think.
Yeah, we haggled it. I was scared that we'd haggle it and lose the deal, but we haggled it. And
yeah, I think is there add-ons in there possibly. So I'm just glad he's in.
See, Dwight McNeil we're putting here on the right hand side because Jack Harrison's gone now. That's another thing we haven't got, Jack Harrison.
I mean, well, that's where he would fit, isn't it? I suppose. If it was a case of whoever the best person is on the left-hand side, gets the shout, and then the other one ends up fitting in on that
There it
right
is.
hand side. But I do like. I mean, we've said it a few times this season that those three lads in Ndai, Alcaraz, and McNeil can interchange, and that's massive that you've got people who can do that, because it makes you less rigid, it makes it more difficult for the opposition, and it gives them a bit of freedom as well.
Yeah, yeah, I completely. Well, the problem is though, we've got like. That's the reason I said right winger is the main position is because I think here on the right wing we've got no one that is actual right winger because McNeil he'd probably play there, wouldn't he? If that's his main position, there or there. Who else have we got that's a right winger? We haven't got no one else, have we?
No, there's nobody. I don't think we've not got. We had two in Lindstrom supposedly and Harrison, but we've gone from having that to none. So it is a glaring gap if you're talking about someone who's a natural right winger. But nowadays, wingers are expected to play basically on both sides. You know, whether
Would
it's
that
the
be right?
cutting in like McNeil would do, and if you have that, you know, just like the old Pinar Baines revolution was that you'd have a fullback who could cross over and cut in and everything else. So if you have got someone who's predominantly left-footed on that right-hand side, then it would be really good if you had some right back who could interact with them.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. Would it be right in saying that the so we've said we need a striker because Calvert Lewin, I believe, is not going to sign. I know he come out with all that stuff on the thing that he loves Everton, but I don't think Calvert Lewin's going to sign. Something's just come out today that he's probably going to leave. It's only a rumor yet, but I think Calvert Lewin will go. So we've only got Beto and Shamiti's not. We don't know whether he's going to go on loan or whether he's proven yet. So we definitely need a striker, like you said, as to give Beto competition. You can't play with one striker. We definitely need a right winger. 100%, million percent need a right winger. So Paul's saying the main position we need a striker. I'm saying the main position is right winger, but I think they're both as important, Paul. I think they're both. We haven't got enough in that position. Would you say we need something in this number 10 position, Paul?
No, I think we've. I mean, if it came up as an opportunity, then yeah, you could probably have that, because Alcaraz can do that position, McNeil can do that position, and Dye could do that position. So
And
there's
Irabunum as well can do that position.
Erabun, you know, there's a few, you know. You've got young Armstrong coming back, Harrison Armstrong. Did a great inside right in the cup, um, early doors, was it? Or last season. So
Yeah.
absolutely, you've got people who can fill that gap. If you want balance, then you go out and get a right winger, whether they're left footed or right footed, but you get someone who is predominantly a right winger.
So what we have got to think, people, is we and keep your comments flooding in. Paul will chuck them on. I can't see them at the minute, but what we've got to think about at the minute is we've got to make sure we spend our money on what we need the most. We've got to be sensible here, and it's the positions that we need the most that we've got to spend the money on. And although we'd love another 10 to give Alcaraz competition, we've got to think we need stuff more than what we need a 10 when we can actually play Njai in the 10. We can play McNeil in the 10 and we can play Rabunum in the 10. I don't think that's key. I think if we get all the players in these positions that we need more desperate, then once we have, if we can get another 10 on top, it could be a bonus because Alcaraz hasn't proved his fitness, but he does look like a really good player. What do you think here, Paul? Because I'm debating because James Garner's been a little bit of a ghost, and I hope he has a good season this season, by the way. But because he hasn't been incredible, I'm debating whether we need another engine in centre midfield. What's your thoughts on that?
I mean, I think Moyes hasn't sort of changed. He loves players who can play in more than one position. Deitch was the same in that respect, to be honest. But we have got lads who can play in the positions where Garner and Garner are. Alcaraz can do that job as well, to be honest. That's not his worst position. When he's played alongside Garner Gay, I think it was. So he's half decent at doing that. So you've got Alcaraz, you've got James Garner, you've got Garner Gay, you've got a Rubenham as well. So there's your four mainstays at the moment. Now, if you feel as though they're not strong enough to fill those positions, then you go out and get yourself another Mangala or someone of that ilk. But you don't want too many in that position, do you know?
I just feel that the only player that's been really good at tackling and breaking stuff up and in that defensive position in front of the defence has been Garner Gay. I don't think James Garner's been that good at it either. So Irabunam, you put him there, and a lot of people turned on Irabunam because he wasn't in good positions when he's defending. So he looks good when he's attacking, running with the ball. But Irabunam hasn't got that Garner Gay turn the ball over, seek out danger sense. So
yeah, I mean,
he's say that we've got anyone that's good in that position that Garner Gay can do.
Well, he's not got that. He's not got that consistency either. He's not played a run of games, Tim.
Yeah.
You know,
I think he's more a 10, Paul. I do. I think he's more of an attacking 10.
Well,
than what he is
been
6.
Well, there's been a few games where we've seen Garner Gay in that position, winning the ball high up. You know, Palace away was a decent example. He did that quite a few times. So, yeah, Tim's probably the same kind of player that can adapt and do both. But you've got to give him a run of games. So, I could see James Garner Gay, and Tim sort of being your three in two positions, and then your McNeil, Alcaraz, and I being your three in those three positions, which means that you'd need another one to sort of have 4 to choose from in those 3 positions. So I think that generally would be the case. If you want to strengthen it, you think who would come in and who would be better? You'd have to buy someone who would be better than Garner Gay or James Garner or Rubenham. You can't put all your eggs on in Garner's basket. You know, being 35 and all that sort of stuff. He did great.
That's what I'm
saying.
Great,
but
that's exactly what I'm thinking. Paul is. I think Garner Gay is going to be a goat this season again and smash it and play most games and be the robot that he was. But you've got to be prepared just in case he isn't. And I don't think James Garner he can't do what Garner Gay is doing in that position. So I think if Garner Gay become injured, we haven't got someone to come in that's really good in that defensive midfield position. So I would maybe, if we've got the budget, look into it. But it's not priority because, like you said, Paul, we have got a couple of makeshift players that we could mix around to hopefully cover it. James Garner's got to step up this season because he should be able to sit in front to the defence, get on the ball and move it about, and he should be able to put the tackles in. We all thought James Garner is basically a Garner Gay. He's meant to be that sit in front of the defence, sweeper, move it, tackles, energy. That's meant to be his game. He should be learning from Garner Gay, so he's got to step up this season. Onto the right back, we are going to start chucking players on the screen to get excited people in a minute, but right back position, Paul. Michael Keane, do you think he's going to stay?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, do you? I think he's going to leave, I don't think he's going to want to stay. I think he's going to want to play football. Yeah, I think he's going to... He's been
Yeah, I think it's a case of timing. I think it's going to be a case of timing. I think it's going to be conversations with Moyes that we won't find out about. But the longer it goes, then without a conversation, then you would think he would end up being kept for a year or two. I mean, they might offer him a 1-year contract or 2-year contract, and he won't want that. You know, he might then say, "No, I want to go and have a 4-year at another club and get a better deal," and that's fair enough.
It's going to be like Is he invested in Everton, and is he really excited about Everton going into this new stadium and believe as a group he can do really well with Everton? I think that would be the reason that he stays, because he's excited about what we're going to do going forward now. Does he want to be part of this plan? That'll be the reason he
Yeah,
stays. But is he thinking like he's not that bothered about the plan? You've got Leeds coming up, you've got Burnley coming up, but he could go back to Burnley. And you've got a couple of teams coming up where I feel he'd get every game, Paul. And at the end of his career, he might just want to play, and he might just want to prove himself and say, I'm not as bad as I was at Everton. So I do think he'll take the chance and leave. And I wouldn't blame him. And if he does leave and he does well, fair play. But I think he'll make the move himself to leave.
he might well do. He might well do, to be fair. He's not going to be first choice by any stretch. He would be fourth choice. He would be fourth choice.
Yeah.
So it's about what he wants to do. I still think he can probably go somewhere else and do a good job. I think the pressure sometimes is too much for him. And again, not playing a lot of games, it can be hard to go into a side and switch on straight away, which we've seen. It doesn't always work.
What you got to remember is we don't want to be in relegation battles. A relegation team that's coming up that knows that they're gonna be in a relegation battle to stay up. He might be okay doing that. He might just keep a team up. Yeah. We don't want to do that. But McNeil might do well in one of these teams coming up, and he'd probably see staying up as being successful, and that being him celebrating that, where we just don't want to do that anymore. So I do think there's a space at the bottom end to just keep staying up for Michael Keane to be a defender. And if not, he could go and play in the Championship and be a striker and score 30 goals in the Championship every season. So
he could. Yeah,
probably would as well. It wouldn't surprise me.
Play to him. I'd like wherever he goes, I'd like him to do well, because for all his faults, and his Everton career has been very much up and down.
Down.
He obviously cares about the club. Do you know what I mean? You don't stay anywhere for what would it be now, 8 years or something. If not more, probably.
Good wage, though, Paul. You know what I mean? Good wage, good contract. I don't think he's going nowhere with that contract.
Well, yeah. Well, depends what he's offered. I would imagine that he wouldn't be offered very much. And if we keep him, then it would be through being a squad player. It's about whether he wants to sit and be happy with that. Or does he want to carry on playing, as in being one of the first two centre-backs on the team sheet?
If I am not interacting with comments, people, I can't see anything at the minute. I'm just playing around with this for you, and I will be back on the comments with Paul in a minute, because we're going to go through the players. This position here. So I personally think we're going to see Michael Keane leave, and that could be your three centre-backs.
If we do a three.
Well, not even as a three. I just think that one of them's going to be sub Paul. I think Tarkowski, you've got to look.
Oh, really?
He's getting older, and you've got to see how he recovers from injury. Well, I would say striker, right winger, and right back all needs to be brought. They're my three priorities, Paul, is that, because I feel as right back, Ashley Young's gone, Coleman you can't rely on, and we actually haven't got a right back. So, because Jacob Ryan isn't a right back, and I know he's insane and he'll smash it there all season, but at the end of the day, you can't not have a right back. I don't think it's fair on Jacob Ryan. So I think right back, right mid, and striker is the main positions. The last position we didn't talk about. Do you think we need another left back? Because we haven't got no one that could play there if Mikalenko got injured.
You've got to have someone else for every position, and we don't have.
Young, didn't we? But we ain't got that now.
We don't have another left back, so you need a young one coming through to fill in the space where Mikalenko doesn't play. I don't think we've got that. So you go out and you get someone basically who's going to provide competition, I would have thought.
Yeah, completely agree. So what we spoke about is between me and Paul, and you lot in the comments, you've been putting your comments in. Striker, right winger. I've said right back. Paul's kind of agreed. Might need another centre-back if Michael Keane goes. It's not priority, not priority, not priority, not major priority. So we'd say, looking at this side of the pitch, that's what would hit on our main transfer stuff. Striker, winger, right back. So we're going to go into what we've been linked to. And we're going to put it on the screen what's been popping up. So this is probably your favourite part of the show, and we can interact with you more now. I just want to point out, I did this quick before the show, and there's 2 players that I missed out. So we're going to start with the 2 players and then go through the order pool. The first player that I missed out is Richarlison. So we'll talk about him first. I didn't put Richarlison in this, and I don't know why I forgot, because you know how much I love Richarlison. So let's start with Richarlison, Paul. What's your thoughts? For Brazil the other day, didn't he?
I'd take him back. I'd take him back. Would he be the? Would you hope he would be the number 1 signing? No, I don't. We'd get someone who I think could come on. I think Richarlison's done really well, and he's struggling to stay up there through injury or otherwise. I also don't see him as as the out and out striker. Maybe it's just because that when he was with us previous, DCL was the main striker, and he worked well with Richarlison, who would come in off the left. And if you're talking about Richarlison in that position, then you're already talking about him competing with 2 of our better players in Ndai and McNeil for that left hand side. So it depends whether you see him as a out and out striker, and him having that number 9, if you like, the number 9 role. I'm not sure I do, to be honest. I'd love him back. It would be like the Rooney signing when Rooney came back, that the owners would kind of do to cheer everyone up. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I don't feel as though we need really cheering up.
It's the same team.
You know what I mean?
It's the same team.
Yeah.
It reminds me of the Pienaar thing. It really does remind me of the Pienaar thing. I didn't want him to go. I didn't want Pienaar to go to Tottenham. Pienaar didn't kind of. I think when you connect with fans, when you move, sometimes you don't get that connection. And I think that's happened with Richarlison as well. I think Richarlison's moved as well, and he really struggled with the mental health when he moved. Richarlison, Everton was his own. He was crying when he left. It was a big blow for him, Richarlison. And you can see when Spurs won the trophy, he's still pushing to fit in, but he's not himself what he was at Everton. If it was a loan, I would definitely have Richarlison. I mean, we've got loans, so I would definitely say yes to a loan. I think that would be.
Oh yeah.
Because at the end of the day, Richarlison, he could play striker, he could play both wings, and he could play in the number 10. And I think if you could get that for a loan, an elite Brazilian footballer like him, that we know is good for Everton. Can you keep him fit? I don't know. That would be the risk. But if you can get him fit, you've got a cracking player there. So I would say yes on Richarlison. A lot of people are probably saying no. I've seen loads of people have got all the players in the comments they want. They're coming up. We're going to chuck them on the screen. We are going to chuck them on the screen. So what, Richarlison, you're saying yes. I'd say yes on loan. Would you?
Yeah, I'd take him on loan. And see if his fitness held up. That would be the thing.
Yeah, so we'd say yes on Richarlison. And the other one that I missed out before we start putting them on the screen, stay with us, is Diarra. Do you know Diarra that we've been linked to centre mid like a lot now?
Yeah.
Yeah, we always get linked to him. And I like him, I do. A proper like Ghana Gay energy type player, Paul, Diarra. And I think he's a good player, but whether we get him, he's going to cost a lot. What's your thoughts on him?
I don't know a lot about him, to be honest. If he is sort of a younger version of Ghana Gay, then straight away he's going to be on lots of radars, isn't he? I think that's going to be the problem every year. We're normally annoyed because someone ends up going to Spurs or West Ham instead of us, basically because it's London. And then actually they realise, I shouldn't have done that. I should have come to Everton instead. So if he's a younger version of Garnegate, that's exactly what you need, because you can't. It's unfair as well to put so much pressure on Garnegate to be fit every single week and not to get injured. And it'll happen. It's more likely to happen as he's even older. Believe me, I know.
No, I agree with you. I completely agree. What we're going to do now, people, is we're going to start chucking these players on the screen if we can do it. in order. The first one is this guy. We're going to start with strikers because I get excited. So we have to start with strikers because that's the best part. So we're going to start with strikers, and then we're going to move down. Look how we've done this, people. Check that out, eh? Look at that, Paul. We mean business. I told you I've got it good for you, people. So yeah, we'll start with this guy. Is his name Nick Voltameda? You know what I'm like, Paul, on names?
Voltameda, yeah, that's not a bad effort, I think.
Yeah, thanks, man. I've been practicing my reading. So it says he's 6'6", and he's a striker, and he's 23 years old. That's my information that I've got written down in really bad writing.
Yeah.
Big striker, really good. Not going to be cheap. A lot of people are going to be after him. Every Everton is like really wants him, Paul. I don't even know if we've been linked to him. What's your thoughts?
Well, he's funny. He's funny looking enough to play for us. That's a thing straight away that's noticeable. I mean, this season he's Polish, yeah. So Polkol, yeah, Polkol, yeah, it must be Polish. 5 matches, 5 goals, 1 assist. Bundesliga, 28 games, scored 12 goals, 2 assists. So he's obviously doing well. We love a big man up front, so that's another box ticked. I haven't seen him enough to say whether I would like, I like him or not. But at least we're not going for someone who is on the way down after years in the Premiership or something like that. So it's a positive move, I suppose.
He's not proven, but he seems like he's massively informed for the team he's playing for at a good level. 23 years old, that ticks the boxes. We all like young because we like to take a risk on getting the best player in the world. You don't know at that age what he's going to become. So I think when you go young, Paul, you do get excited because you could really land on a real gem. We all see young players as a potential gem, so that's good. And 6'6", we want a big striker. Clearly, David Moyes wants a big striker. It does look a little bit like Anthony Gordon's brother, which puts me off a little bit. But
do you think so?
Well, don't know. When you get it in your head, probably, yeah.
Just looking.
A little bit, doesn't it? Gordon with dash.
Maybe the eyes.
But a lot. He is massively, Paul, on a lot of Evertonians' wish list. Let's just say that he is like at the top of the list. That I would say he's the main striker that everyone wants. From what I've seen on social media, that he is the one that people are crying out for. Saying everyone's saying Voltameda, get Voltameda. So he is on everyone's wish list. What they're saying in the comments, Paul? Chuck the comments on if he'd be the real coup. Yeah.
Yeah. So
yes, the Blues.
Yeah. I mean, it is often the case, isn't it? As soon as we get a name and it sticks and it's maybe linked to something else that we know who can't be named. It sticks in people's heads. So yeah, lots of people.
Paul, carry on second for me, please.
Yeah, it's fine. Andrew's in. I don't see Andrew much, so good on you for being here. Yeah, he's a fan. We'll have a lot more, certainly about talking about tall lads up front and stuff like that. I think we'll win quite a few free kicks. We've got quite a few ballers. And Alcaraz wins lots of free kicks as well. So there'll be lots of set pieces again, I would imagine. So as long as we can improve the delivery, oh God, let's improve the delivery. Then we need someone half decent and half tall enough to win the ball in the box, and that's going to be massive.
Right, there we go. There's always something going, isn't there? Right, so the next player, Paul.
German, sorry, okay.
Next player, you know this player, don't you?
Oh, don't. Oh yeah, let's get Richarlison and Wilson. That'll work.
Oh, imagine that. Imagine that. Get around his arm. Where's his arm now? But yeah, Callum Wilson did get linked, didn't he? So we've got to We've got to say what we think of him. Get involved in the comments and say what we think of him.
Well, I don't think there's any way he'd come to us anyway, and I'm quite happy. Like I said, I don't want lads who are on their way
I don't want
down
Callum
in their
Wilson.
career. I don't want anyone in their
No.
twilight. You know, I want lads who are young, hungry, and in some cases a little bit naive. Do you know what I mean? That's what makes a great player on the ball. That's what's happened with lads who've sort of come through our academy, and that is that when they've come into the first team, they're a little bit raw, a little bit naive, and they just run at people, depending on their position. I don't want people who are just having a final payday, and I think wherever Wilson goes, I think that's generally what he would be looking at. So not for me, not for me.
I think personally, when it's always been the same. An Everton striker, we're going to maximise every part of his game because sometimes we'll play long balls just to get up the pitch quick. We'll run him into channels. We'll smash the ball into him crap sometimes, and he'll have to control stuff that's not that good. And I feel someone like Callum Wilson would get him injured straight away. He's not got the energy that we need, and our striker that we get needs to be 100% burnt out on it. And I feel Callum Wilson just couldn't handle Everton personally. Yeah, you did dig at Richarlison. I'm digging at you. What are people's thoughts in the comments? You wouldn't believe this, Paul. Do you know them when I just went off the channel?
Yeah.
It was a police knocking on my door.
What was it?
Yeah. I just
Does it say that they fancy Voldemort up front?
I don't know what it was, mate. It's because I was going to put Callum Wilson. It was the police. She said there's just been an assault outside your house. Did you see it? I said I'm live on the channel. I didn't see nothing now. So yeah, that's awesome. Nice to know, isn't it? Just thought I'd show you. Right. So Callum Wilson, what we got in the comments, and then we'll move on because I don't want to put him on the screen that long. I don't like him. I don't.
No. Danny says no. Doyley says too old. Carl and Mike. I'm trying to work out. I've got to see what's the emoji. I'm not even sure what the emoji is that Lulu's put on there. I doubt it's a positive one.
I don't think she's happy about it. I won't be happy about it either.
Worst injury record. Worst injury record than DCL. I'm not sure if Rod is talking about Wilson when he says goals when fit, good cover.
Yeah, he is saying there. You can tell he will get us goals when fit, good cover. Possibly. That's what he's thinking on.
I like this though. I do like that. Would be better playing Wilson from Castaway.
Yeah, I'd rather have him. Tell you, I'd rather have any Wilson. Rather use a Wilson golf ball. I tell you. No, I do not want Callum Wilson whatsoever. Right, onto the next striker then, people. So we've got I think this is a recent one actually that's just come out. Here he is. He's from me notes. He's 6'5", 22 years old.
Yeah,
I haven't got his stats, but
Thierno Barry,
young in form.
I don't even know how you pronounce it. Thierno Barry, I suppose, or TB for short.
It could be Barry. You never know. We never know how to say these names sometimes. Could be Barry.
Yeah, I've only seen clips as most of us have done, and we know that your highlight reel isn't the be all and end all. He's 22. Is he? He's only a young'un. La Liga, obviously with Villarreal, 35 matches this year, 11 goals, 4 assists. You're playing for Villarreal. You're not rubbish, are you? French under 21s at the moment.
We all seem to get linked to Villarreal players, don't we? It was like that last season. So many Villarreal players we got linked to. Danjuma, we ended up getting him. There was another one on the wing. I can't remember his name. We've always got linked to him. It could be good. Another diamond, Paul. I think he's a bit like Voltameda, isn't he? I think he's one of them, that a young one, up and coming, good stats now, just starting to become a good player.
Yeah, another tall one. He does. Yeah. He looks a little bit he looks a little bit lean.
Fine.
Do you know what I mean? He's not bulked out yet. That's for certain.
No.
He sort of looks like Schmidt when Schmidt first came to us. If you think about it, he was quite skinny. Was Schmidt? So Barry seems to be similar, but not much else about him, to be honest, that I'm
No.
aware of.
Seen a couple of his goals and stuff like that. Seems decent. Could be decent. Could be another player that's exactly like Schmidt. Hopefully, Schmidt comes into form this season. Are we going to loan him out? Are we going to keep him? I'm not sure. What have we got in the comments about him before we move on to the next player, Paul?
Yeah, just having a Mary Berry.
Keep your comments coming in, people. We'll chuck them on about each player that I do put on. We want to hear what you've got to say. So do put your comments on, please. And just tell us what you think on each player, and we'll put the players on.
Everything Everton is quite happy about it. Mike says that it's Gareth's brother, or Mary Barry, to his friends. Tierno, Tierno, thank you. I knew the Blues would be on it. Tierno Barry. Yeah, lots of good stuff. Looks a handful, says Carl. The videos are always half decent though. I don't know whether Doyley's saying that about was it Voldemada?
Voldemada, yeah. It's in my head now, and I guess all the time.
Or about Barry. Blues just say a little reply for you.
Yeah, Chukwueze, that's who it was. That's the winger that was linked to from Villarreal all the time.
Right, okay.
Yeah, that's the one place. Yeah.
Paul,
Paul
Ramirez.
Rooney and Sandro Ramirez. I was really excited about Sandro Ramirez, Paul. When we had Rooney and Ramirez, I was like, wow, these.
Yeah. If that Ramirez doesn't get player of the tournament, there's no justice. So I don't know whether there we go. I don't know whether it was me or you.
As well, then. I think we both went in and out. Sorry if you had to freeze, people. Stay with us because we are on to the next player. So the next player, it's going to cause a bit of trouble on this channel tonight. And this channel's been nice and friendly, but I feel that this could start causing a lot of arguments in the comments, and it could start causing arguments between, I don't know, everyone. So let's just get this man on, people. Let's get this man on. It is the one and only, he is Mr. Jack Grealish. There's a lot of talk on this man. I don't even know if we've been linked to him, but someone said to me earlier on, why do people keep talking about Jack Grealish? Have we even been linked to him? I says, I don't know if we have, but everyone's talking about him.
In the, I think we've been linked to him in the clickbait that flies around. There's a few fans.
I'm a big fan. Of him. I would definitely have him at Everton. Like, I know it would take his wages $300,000 or something like that. So you'd have to get Man City would have to pay some of his wages. It would only be a loan. It wouldn't be a signing, I think.
Yeah, I mean he's more than double our top earner. Yeah. So I mean that if you go down that road, you are opening yourself up, and it depends on how much you're willing to go the Freaking group, because we've had big money thrown at a few players over the last decade when it's not particularly gone well. There's been some players we've spent quite a lot of money on for us, and they've hardly played or just weren't up to it at all. So I'm not saying Jack isn't, but if you're gonna start throwing that money in terms of wage, then other players involved in the squad, in the team, are going to be like, well, I should be getting more than on my next deal, and I should be getting this, and I should be getting that. And if they see Jack Grealish coming in on a big wage, anyone you go for will be saying the same thing. So you've got to sort of weigh up a little bit apart from the actual footballing ability.
So me and Paul haven't even spoken. I can see the comments coming in as well. We will put them on in a second. Keep your comments coming in. Paul will come on. Me and Paul haven't spoke about transfers, so we don't know who thinks what on these players, and it's interesting. So you basically saying you're a no to Jack Grealish, Paul?
I'm not a no to Jack Grealish because I'd love him to be in the side. I do think because I mean I'm not. He wouldn't. He's definitely better than what we've got. I think. I think he's probably he's up there on a good day. He's up there with Ndai, but he's also in Ndai's position as well, and he could.
Couldn't. This is where a lot of Everton fans are getting confused. I got a lot of stick because I feel personally that Njai could play on the left, Grealish could play on the right. I still think Grealish could play out of position on the right because I think he's good with both feet. But I also think Njai could play on the right and Grealish could play on the left, Paul, because I think Njai is good with both feet as well. So I know it's not your ideal winger, but I do think that Njai could play on the right if you decided to play Grealish in the position that people are saying, no, he's a left winger. Why are you thinking that he can play on the right wing? Then, well, maybe you move Njai on the right wing then. What's your thoughts on that? And obviously, he can play 10.
If you get Grealish is playing.
Yeah,
you don't spend that much on wages for him to sit on the bench. So
you're only spending on wages though on loan though. That's all
I
you
know.
are spending is wages.
Yeah, but it's a massive wage as well. So it depends on. I suppose it depends on what the deal is. If you scrapped all that and you're just talking about the football, I'd definitely have him. Where you would put him would be up for debate because we've sort of seen him just left hand side or inside left, haven't we? And we've got people in those positions.
Number 10 a little bit as well. Number 10, he could be good competition for us.
Yeah, but you've got another player who is similar to Ndai and similar to Alcaraz when Alcaraz is on the ball. So of course I'd take him if money's no object, but it's not. I don't think it's a priority.
If you got players like Grealish and Njai, you had another. I feel like Grealish is like Njai, so that they're on the ball players don't lose the ball that much. Really confident on the ball, and I think if you've got Grealish and Njai on the pitch, we might start becoming a bit of a possession team. And where people say, "Oh, we've not got enough pace," if we get Grealish, I think we'll become a possession team where we don't massively need pace as much as we normally would, because we normally say we need pace because we can't pass and can't get over the pitch. So we'd have to just knock it forward, fast ball, counter attack. That'd be how we have to play. But I do believe if you start getting players that can keep the ball on each wing, and you've got centre back like Brantwaite that's really good at passing and O'Brien, we might actually become. I'd like to have possession in games and control games, and I think I don't want to always just be a fast counter attack team. I want us to have that in the locker.
Yeah,
but I think David Moyes will try and get more and more possession. He did get us more possession towards the end of the season.
Yeah.
I do think you want to bring players in that get even more possession, because at the end of the day, when you play a football team, the more you've got the ball, the more you've got chance of scoring. And yes, sometimes we've won games where we've had one chance and scored, but you're risking your arse on that. You are risking your arse to get one chance and win a game when the other teams had like 80% possession. So I do think Grealish and Njai would really get us some good possession. I would like Grealish, and I understand people that say no. I really do, because when he leaves Manchester City and he hasn't got Pep and he's got free reins and he can do what he wants, he's going to do a lot of damage. I remember him against Liverpool when he spanked them 8-0 or 7-0, whatever it was. And he dominated them that game against Liverpool. He's a player. I'd have him. Paul's a maybe. I'm a yes. What have we got in the comments? Jack Grealish, people.
Yeah, well, yeah. Rod reckons if he's still hungry, the wage and the wage is sticking in people's heads, and I can understand that.
If we could get down to 150, I'd be happy.
If it was what?
If we his wage, I think, is 300, or it might even be 400. If we could get it down to 150k a week, I'd be happy personally. And I know that's massive still.
Yeah.
you've got to remember we used to pay Yerry Mina 130. I think if you had an elite player at 150k on loan just one season, I'd pay it. But
yeah. I mean, I can understand both sides. To be fair, Blue said been a few paper links. Puckies have got him 4-1 to join us. So
good odds.
probably because no one else has come in yet. Maybe people were just waiting.
Oh yes, Carl. How you doing? Carl said it'd be better down the middle for us.
Yeah.
Hope you well, Carl.
Mike says get rid of the headband. I don't think that's going to happen.
No, I think he'll keep it. He's got
That's
too much
something
hair.
that we would have to live with, I reckon. Doyley says, I'll know him, but the wages are the problem and where he would play. Yeah. I mean, he'd have to put a shift in, you know. He'd have to be the old Grealish playing for Villa. He's not going to be able to sort of swan around a little bit. I have said before that he would win a lot of free kicks. And we can obviously be dangerous from set pieces. So from that's good.
Yeah, you're right.
Whether I've seen him, well, obviously we've not seen him a lot, have we? But would he be able to get past people still? I don't know. It's up for.
I think he can if he gets on the edge of the box. He's got the weak runs, hasn't
he? Yeah. Not even Moyes can give him the appetite back. Potentially.
Yeah, Paul. Shout out to you, Paul.
He's certainly got to prove it. You know, he's certainly got to prove it. He's class, but he needs the Clippers taken to his wages. Yeah, he is. I think generally people do agree that he's a decent lad and he's more like is a football fan. Certainly acts like it. In the public, doesn't he? But yeah, it's a case of is he going to do it on the pitch?
Do keep your comments coming in, people. Paul is chucking them on the screen after we've spoken about the play. We really want to hear what you've got to say.
Absolutely huge it is. Yeah, the headboard.
To be fair, I mean, and Jai left Grealish 10 would be exciting. I'd love Grealish, and I know some people, Paul, they'd be like, no. But once you get him, they'd be well excited. They would be well excited. Even Paul, that's just said no. I know for a fact if we got him, we just find ourselves seeing the best and getting excited about him.
Yeah, it's a nice problem for Moyes to have. Oh, who do I play, Endai or Grealish? You know, it's not like, oh God, who have we got to put on the pitch this week? And that's the thing. We've got to get people in, haven't we? But we want them to be decent players.
Of course we do. On to the next player. This is a player that plays for Sheffield. Went to Coventry, then he was Sheffield. Unlucky because he was the one that set Kevin Campbell's son up, I think, if I can remember rightly, to make them go 1-0 up, and then they lost in the playoffs. 2-1 Sheffield. Yeah, Gustavo Hammer. I mean, I've got him in the Coventry kit. I ain't got him in the Sheffield kit, but there he is. What's your thoughts on this lad? Have you seen much of him, Paul?
Just what I've seen from Sheffield United. So I've seen a few games from this season. But he's no Endai. You know, he's not as good as him at all. I don't think he's personally. I don't think he's better than what we've got. I don't think he's as good as what we've got. So it wouldn't be for me. I'm sure he'll do well. I think someone will probably pick him up. They might bring him into the Premier League. He might stay again for another year at Sheffield United and come up with him. I don't think he's better than what we've got at the moment. So it's a no from me.
No, he is good. He's quite fancy, sharp turns, can put players through. I think he's got assists in him. I like him. I rate him. Not at the top of my list. Don't think so, because I think he kind of goes in Alcaraz's position in the 10. And I think maybe he could play. I wouldn't leave him as your number 6. So it'd be the 10 and he's like an attacking midfielder through the middle. So I wouldn't have him as priority. But we was linked to him, so I mean, maybe Moyes likes him. I'm not sure. If it's a good deal and we want bodies, then I think he'd be a cracking player.
No,
But I
I
don't
just
think it'd
no.
be cheap.
Yeah, I just don't think. No, I just don't. It doesn't stand out for me. Doesn't stand out for
What
me.
we got in the comments? What are they thinking of him?
The Blues said he'd take him if price was right. Good player, but nothing
Yeah.
special. Same for Danny as well. Lots of people still talking about Grealish and Richarlison being a duo.
Told you. I told you. I told you, Grealish.
I
Honestly, if
know.
you think about Grealish deeply and properly, and you just
We'd
try
love.
and take away that
We'd love him.
he's
I
coming
think. I
in,
think fans would get on board with him without a doubt. Doyley reckons Hamer looks good in the championships, but there's better out there. I agree. Mike says good energy running from midfield. Rod likes the Coventry kit, ye oldie Coventry kit.
yeah,
But
on the
again,
bottom
you
of the
know,
box.
people maybe not have seen a lot of him. Similar to Alcaraz in a way. I think Alcaraz is better. Yeah.
It's just, yeah,
He's
because
got
Alcaraz is
pace.
a baller as well.
Yeah, Eltel. He's got pace, but not for me. Good squad player. I just don't think he would get ahead of. I just don't think he'd get ahead of people. That's a good shout, Danny. By the way, the brown Coventry kit from the 70s, 80s, absolutely awful. Toffee Hammer.
Yeah, good for a song. Really good for a song, though. You know what I mean? If you
Oh,
just want to bring a player in for a song,
I can imagine. To be fair, not a starter. There's better out there. I agree.
yeah, agree with you, Paul. I do. Right, on to the next player then. So we would like it. Maybe we'd take him on a decent price, but he's not our priority. Right, on to this player then, people. This is another player that we've been linked to. Here we go. I had to look what position he was, Paul, because I wasn't sure. Do you know what position he plays?
No, I don't know much about this lad at all. To be fair,
So I take it his name. I'm going to probably be wrong, but I'm getting better. The Blues, you'll be proud of me because I've been reading my daughter's Alma books. Mohamed Diamondi or something, I'd say, or Diamondi or Diamondi. One of them, anyway. What would you say, Paul?
Diamonde. I reckon that's a
Diamondi,
good
yeah.
shout.
Yeah.
Modo.
Mohamed Diamondi.
Modio.
Yeah, could be. You never know. Diamonde. Let's just say that. Diamonde. And when I looked, it says he's a midfielder and a left winger, which confused me completely. Because normally it says left winger or attacking mid. Is he a centre midfielder, left winger? Is he attacking midfielder, left winger? I don't know.
Mixture of both.
Looks
Midfielder or left winger. Ivory Coast lad.
He's
A young one
he's
again.
scored. He's scored 4 goals, 7 assists. That's pretty
Yeah.
good, isn't it? He's 23 years old as well, so a good age. But 4 goals and 7 assists isn't bad, and he's an informed.
It's I mean, there can be some Scottish players who come from Scottish League that do all right. I don't know whether I've gone out here or you have, mate. But I'm sure we'll float back in any moment. Just in case it's you, I'll carry on talking. The times that we've got players from Scottish League has been a mixed bag, but we've obviously had some really good ones.
Cut me out then. Was you still in?
I think I might have been in. Oh, thank you. I was still in. Sometimes you can't.
I'm struggling with the. But sometimes normally signals bang on, but it's on a meltdown. But yeah, I presume we've finished on him, Paul. What are people's thoughts on him in the comments?
Yeah,
I like him.
Sinner's the same here. Paul's the same here. Literally, know nothing about him, but that he's been playing in pub league. So the three of us could rip it up. We have had some cult heroes come from Scotland. You know, if you're thinking about players who we've got from there or come from that league, then you can't sort of argue, obviously, about. We bought Arteta from Rangers. We got obviously
Was
Ferguson.
McFadden from Rangers? Where was McFadden from?
McFadden might have been. I can't remember.
Arteta was Rangers, wasn't he?
Yeah, but we have picked out players who have done decent in Scottish League. It doesn't mean that they're bad players, but it does make you think, the step up. I mean, we've got Patterson from Rangers. You know, decide by yourself whether he's actually made it or he hasn't. So it would be a chance. It would be if it's a left-sided midfielder again that kind of midfielder. Is that someone that we want? I'm not sure. I don't know enough about him, to be honest. That 4 goals was in 36 games, and it's Rangers. So
the fact, I personally, I would love for him to have been an energy centre midfielder like Diarra, and I think if he was like a Garner Gay, I'd be more happy for him to be in that position. But the fact it says left wing centre mid, I'm starting to think it thinks left wing centre attacking mid, and I don't think he's a centre mid that could play centre mid. So for me, he's more of a winger. And left winger, do we need more left wingers? Like you said, I don't think we do. Could be a really good player though. But one thing I will say is we need to make sure we've got the bodies in before we get a player like this, Paulus, because if we've only got a small squad and we ain't got loads of bodies in, you'd be gutted he can't play on the right because we massively need players on the right. So I like him. I think he shows a lot of potential.
With those, you presume we would get someone else on the right anyway.
Yeah.
So yeah, I know what you mean. We've got a mixed bag. Doyley likes him. Can play in the 6, the 8, the 10. Think of Decore, but can pass
so he
a
can
ball.
play the 6.
So there is a little bit of that. Looks good for Rangers, but hard to tell from Scottish League. Yeah, I agree.
I love the people in the comments. They know their stuff, don't they?
The man from Diamonde. He says yes. Ooh. Box to box midfielder.
Oh, so he's not what I said he is then. So what I said, ignore all of that because I don't know what he is. So this is why we do this because I know a lot of people. We all know our stuff, and that's why I like to get you involved in the comments. So he can play in the centre pole and he can be a box to box. So that's made me more enticed.
Yeah. Elsel says no better than Harrison. Yeah, Duncan did all right, didn't he, when he came? The thing is, you can't tell. You can't tell without watching them properly, and a good indication for anyone from Scottish League, and you presume that it's going to be Rangers or Celtic, is how well they do against the European sides, potentially. You know,
I do like the young players. Now this is a player that's got me into a little bit of trouble over the last couple of days. It's got me commenting to more people that I mean, here he is. There he is, Paul. I've had a picture with him, John Stones. Now I did put, and the Blues will probably jump on this now. I did say John Stones playing centre mid for us in front of the defence would be fantastic. And then Garnegay could push up, everyone could push up. And I think Stones is a possession player. You imagine if you had Stones defensive mid, like he played for Man City, defensive mid, and you had Garner-Gay, and you had Grealish one side, and then Jai the other side. Get that in your head. Stones, Garner-Gay, Grealish, and Jai, and Alcaraz in the 10. We could become a good football team then. Like, we really could. You'd have 2 Man City players, so we probably would be a possession team then. Stones, he has got his injury problems, I understand, but I think you could get him fit at least 20 games this season. Maybe. But yeah, I'd have Stones on loan all day. I'd have Grealish on loan. Talk to me. What do you think, Paul? Slap me wrist and tell me I shouldn't say yes to Stones.
No, I like Stones. I suppose only he knows how he's going only he knows how he's going to fare fitness wise, injury wise. If you put that aside and say that he did come to us and he would be fit, would he? If I was him and I was meeting Moyes, I'd be saying, well, what positions you want me to play in? Because if you want me to play centre back, does that mean that I'm going to be ahead of Tarkowski, or I'm going to be ahead of Branthwaite, or I'm going to be ahead of O'Brien? You know, and does that mean then that I'll be on the bench more than actually playing? So that might, maybe he wouldn't particularly like that. And then if Moyes says, no, I want you to play centre mid, there's a big difference between playing centre mid for us and centre mid for City. Because a lot of the weight is taken off each of the players for Man City.
Do you know? So I'll probably get grilled for this because often I say things that some people don't like. Philip Neville. That type of vibe. Do you know where Philip Neville was? He was a right back, wasn't he? And he could play right back,
Everywhere, play everywhere.
centre mid, everywhere. Philip Neville. And I think later on in Philip Neville's career, he just wanted to sit in the centre mid and just be the free roamer, break up when you can, read, pass the ball, move the ball on. And Gareth Barry was another player as well. I think Pirlo as well. I'm not saying John Stones is Pirlo, but I'm just saying.
He scores a good Panenka, though. He scores a good Panenka.
Yeah, exactly. He's got the Panenka. Yeah, he does score a good Panenka. So what I'm saying to you is when older players come towards the end of the career, sitting in the 6 is not a bad position. So I do think that if Moyes said to him, we want you in that Philip Neville role in the 6, I think Stones now, he'd probably say, I don't want to play centre-back. And I think if he moved, he'd be looking to play probably defensive centre-mid. So I personally, if we had the money, would. But the money is the problem, isn't it? If you are getting Grealish on a big wage and you're getting Stones on a big wage, I don't want us to get back in a mess. But if it was on good money and it was sensible, I'd definitely do it.
I would, yeah. I mean, I think Stones is class. I think when he was with us,
He even played right back.
To be honest, he's a complete footballer. He could play anywhere. He's so good on the ball. The problem was when he was with us and he was young, and being young and naive is not always great as a defender. On the ball going forward as an attacking player, fair dues, but not in your own half. Certainly not just inside your own box and balls and that up. I remember that a lot. But he's so much experience, great on the ball, great at the back, can lead people as well. You don't play for Man City for that long and not be a bad player. The question marks would be the money and the injuries. Beyond that, he is a class player. And would still be England centre back, really, if he was fit enough. That's the thing.
If you could get a player like John Stones and like Grealish, 2 elite players with already the good base that we've got into that new stadium the first season, I'd be really interested on what we could do that first season. Imagine if you had a Nottingham Forest season, or you had you randomly got top 5, top 4 because you brought in these elite players and everything clicks for that first season in Bramley Moor Dock, and then you start more money starts coming in. These go on, you bring some more in, and these proper do set up our journey in Bramley Moor. I don't think Everton fans should be scared of wanting big players, because I think if you're an Everton fan now and you're saying you want to go into the new stadium and you don't want to be in relegation battles anymore and you want to become a better team fighting more at the top end of the table, I do think you've got to start bringing some big players in that we probably don't feel we deserve, but if you get them, it'll push us up the table. So I'd love Stones and I'd love Grealish. What have we got in the comments?
I mean, lots of people saying the same. I mean, Lulu says that he's got such a smackable face, but
Yeah.
But everyone's saying about being injury prone, and that's the problem. To be fair, Dex saying no, boat's long since sailed. I mean, I'm probably being a little bit hypocritical in saying that I wouldn't take players who are sort of on the down, and then saying I would take Stones.
You just love Stones.
I think Stones has got a bit of class about him on the ball, and I think the other ones who have been mentioned, like Wilson, all right, he can score goals, but I don't think he's mobile enough to make a difference against top defenders, personally. And again, too many injuries, so maybe I'm being a bit of a hypocrite by saying I'd have Stones, but I still think he's class. It's about whether he would, if he would live with not being first choice, then fair enough. But would you get someone in on massive wages to do that? So, but most people saying about injuries.
Sentiment. Yeah, a lot of people saying no. I get it completely. I don't know why I've just got him sitting in the centre, getting us possession, picking it about to Grealish and enjoying the wings. But we've all got little dreams, haven't we, that are different. Where you've just said you don't want players on the end of their career. This is a centre-back that we continuously get linked to that's kind of more on the up. I mean, what have I got on my notes on him? Max Astavi, 23 years old, height 6'4". We keep getting linked to this Burnley centre-back.
Right.
And I've seen a lot of podcasts as well talking about him, saying we do keep getting linked to him. David Moyes really wants him. A lot of us get scared that when we get linked to him, that Branthwaite, it might be a sign that Branthwaite's going to leave, but they've said we're going to keep Branthwaite, hopefully. Maybe they want him as a keen replacement. I don't know. I don't think we'll get him. I think he's going to cost quite a lot of money, and he won't want to be a third choice centre back, maybe fourth. Well, we'll be a fourth choice centre back, won't he?
Well, I don't think. I mean, I'd be surprised if he came up with Burnley and then leaves Burnley before the season starts. You know, you'd imagine that he would sort of step with Burnley at least for the first half of the first season back in the Premiership. So I don't know a lot about him. If he's going to be an understudy, then fair dues. But I think anyone we get who's a centre back has got to be really, really good. And I don't think he's really, really good as yet. I'd imagine you'd have to see after a year in the Premiership.
Yeah, just keeps popping up, and I am not even thinking about a centre back. I don't want a centre back. What we got in the comments? We've got one more player after this, people. One more player after this, and then this is the big roundup. We've kind of rounded up all the transfer stuff on this show. We'll probably drop one once every 3 weeks or something, or 2 weeks.
Mm-hmm. And there's been loads of comments, and because we've tried to whiz through, and we're still over sort of time that we'd normally do. There's been loads of comments, so I apologise for not being able to get everyone in.
A lot of comments on this player as well. No for me.
Yeah, well, everything Everton said, not for me. People are a bit worried that you're talking about Branthwaite leaving.
Yeah, I am. Please don't leave. Don't ever leave Branthwaite. I would never ever sell Branthwaite. That's why I was scared of this player, and I didn't even want to put him on for that reason, Paul, because I don't. The moment you start looking at a player that looks like a replacement for Branthwaite, I want to cry. We need to keep Branthwaite at all cost and build around Branthwaite. Trust me, Branthwaite is insane. Do not ever sell the goat. In my opinion,
LTL's quite keen on him if we did make a move. Lots of people saying that us and Burnley don't particularly get on at the moment. So
no.
At the end of the day, money will talk. Money will talk.
Well, we had Michael Keane, he was rubbish. Tarkowski, he was okay. McNeil, he's okay, but no really will beaters, I would say. Tarkowski, good. Michael Keane, okay.
Yeah, of course. But that's where we are with Esteve.
Yeah, so let's get him off, people. And we are on the last one now, and we spoke about the right back position. I thought we'd have been linked to loads of right backs, but every time we talk about right back, Paul, it seems like Kyle Walker-Peters is the only one that exists. So more might pop up later on, but he's the only one that's really been linked to us at the minute. Good pictures, though. It really doesn't feel like we're in a 3D cinema, really, doesn't it?
It does a bit, doesn't it? I like this. No, it's good.
Yeah, I cropped all the background on it and stuff like that, so it really looks real.
Look at you working hard.
Mm-hmm. That's what I do.
Just what I do. Good reputation. Bit of pace. You know. Only so much you could do at Southampton, I'd imagine. You know, so obviously doesn't take all the blame. Is he better than what we've got? Depends who you're playing there, I suppose. Is he better than O'Brien in right back position? Don't know. Would he get forward as much? Would he get forward more than O'Brien? Could it be a good overlap for someone who's going to play right hand side like McNeil, who would cut in? So possibility, but yeah. What do you think?
He's a proper right back, isn't he? He bombs it forward. I think he's more of an attacking right back than what he is. It reminds me a little bit of Wan-Bissaka, that type of right back. You know, one that just bombs it forward.
I think he's one of them that really wants to go forward. And if Moyes is looking for, he has got Mikalenko going forward. If he's looking for a right back to bomb it forward more, he's your man. I do think he's decent. I think he'll be a good price. His age is 28 years old, which I'm not a big fan of, but he's probably got 3-4 years left in him. Yeah. I thought he was younger.
I did, yeah.
Got my notes, mate. No, my notes are really bad, by the way. It's written over like random stuff like that. Oh, look at that, how bad that is. But now 28 years old, I thought he was about 25, which would have got me more excited. I don't like signing players at 28. Allen, Decore, you don't get much out of them. And you end up selling them for nothing as well. Well, you don't get nothing for them. Their contracts just run out and you don't get nothing for them. This is why we like young players, is because you can get them at 22, Paul, and still sell them for money at probably 28. Yeah. You're not going to do that with this man. But we need a right back. Personally, if you said to me, we had Kyle Walker-Peters and Jake O'Brien, I'd pick Jake O'Brien over him if Jake O'Brien couldn't play centre-back. So if Tarkowski was available, I'd have Tarkowski, Braithwaite, and Jake O'Brien. But what I'm saying to you, Paul, is Tarkowski is injured. We don't know how he's going to recover from his injury. So our centre-back partnership at the minute, the way we finish the season, our centre-back partnership is Braithwaite and Jake O'Brien. So in that scenario, we would need a right back. And I do think that if we need a right back, he fits the stuff for me. And you sound like you like him as well, so I think he'd be a good fit. What have we got in the comments?
We've got a little mix. Just bear with me for a second. Can you go through the comments, because there's just a picture I was just going to throw up in a moment.
Of course, can, mate. Yeah. Let's have a look at the comments now, seeing what they think of him.
Oh, that's me. Sorry.
Peter Collins says, "Just shut up and get your mail." I bloody wish, mate. Wish. Get great service.
Too good for him. We're too good for him.
And like we do with Tarkowski too, it's a yes for me from Everton. Braithwaite's finished the season injured as well, to be fair, so it's good to have the cover in that way. So, like where I said Tarkowski's injured, Braithwaite, he does pick up a couple of injuries as well. So we definitely need a right back for me. Paul says he's a decent player, but Jake O'Brien over him all day. Said the same, Jake O'Brien over him. But if Tarkowski and Braithwaite ends up injured, we definitely need a right back. We won't have no one to play.
Decent cover. You need decent cover.
Good squad player defensively. I'd have him. Carl says, sorry, I'm going up on your comments here. I'd have him, especially because he'll be free. Walker-Peters can beat a man. Lulu says, I'd give him a whirl at a right price. Yeah, I would give him a whirl as well. Keeping your comments coming on. Paul's better on the comments, isn't he? What about the new right-hand Sheedy? Do it okay, buy a shot, yeah. I think people like him, to be fair, Paul. It's a yes, isn't it?
Yeah, I just think we're keen for new blood. We're keen for new blood.
Yeah, I would be interested in him. But there's a roundup of everything that's gone on. I mean, we haven't done a show for a while, but I feel we've crammed it all into one. I'd like to say it's been a half an hour show, but it's been an hour and a half, and we're ending on that.
Can I just throw this image up? Which is just
I'm ready for it. What you got?
This is out of contract players from Premier League. I just thought if any names sort of popped up.
I go massively over on time and think it's me, and Paul puts even something else on.
It's me. It's always me.
It's always Paul. People. Let me just get rid of this so we can see everyone.
Yeah, get that banner off. So,
yes, sir.
Me, yeah, do yeah. So, for example, Jorginho from Arsenal. I won't even say the other's name. Who else? Ben Mee, Brentford. Lamptey of Brighton.
Someone mentioned Olsen coming back to us. They said that someone just said get Olsen because he's end of contract and we need a backup goalkeeper. We didn't mention that. We do need a backup goalkeeper.
You say Olsen, I still would have kept Asmir, to be honest.
I would have kept Asmir as well.
Maybe it was another year. So it's an interesting one, really. But we don't know everything behind the scenes either, do we? So there's a little bit of that.
Oh, Lamptey's a good one, Paul. I didn't know he was. Is he on a free, Lamptey?
He's out of contract, yeah. So
yeah, Lamptey's. I'd be all over that. All over that.
So interesting. Remember when he first started? He was absolutely rapid. I mean,
Yeah, but he's just
he's
a little bit
tiny.
injury prone. A little bit
He
injury
wouldn't,
prone.
you know, I think you could probably get Tarkowski could probably hold him and throw him up in the air, so he
Can you
could
believe this comment here?
win a
Rod
few
says,
headers.
I miss Ashley Young already, Paul. That's a good comment. Notice how Paul says, notice how big that Everton list is. Look how big our list is. Ours is the biggest.
Absolute tons.
Oh my days, you're right, Paul. You are right.
Know.
Ben Mee out of contract.
Yeah.
He's where does that Klein play? He's a cop out. He is. Don't want him. Ward.
Yeah, full back. You've got Tete from Fulham. You've got Tom Carney as well out of contract. It's interesting. Tom Carney's been at Fulham for forever. Brought him
Tete's quite good, isn't he?
Championship. I thought so. Yeah. Williams out of contract as well. You got a few from Ipswich. I'm going to miss those. Vardy of Leicester. I mean, there's this young lad called Kevin De Bruyne from Man City.
Yeah, go on. We'll have him. While we've got Grealish and Stones, we might as well get him.
Might be worth.
I've already got Grealish and Stones. I've got Grealish and Stones. I might as well get one more from Man City and have Kevin De Bruyne.
You've got
quadruple.
You've got Lindelof of United and Ericsson as well. John Ruddy's still playing. Wow. John Ruddy from Newcastle, our little young John Ruddy. If you wanted a backup, you've got Bolly and Toffolo from Forest. You know, I think it says Joanna Lumley for Southampton. But
Toffolo's a left back. He'd be a good backup left back. Toffolo would.
There you go.
What do you think?
Ben Davis of Spurs as well. Yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah, I wouldn't want him. I don't like him. I always think he's a weakling for them. What do you think of Christian Eriksen? We used to be linked to him all the time. I used to want him, but I don't even want him this time. You show me.
No, I don't think he'll. I don't think he'll work for us really. But he was obviously a cracking player. I mean, interesting.
What do you think of the West Ham list though? Because David Moyes linked as well.
I was just looking at it, yeah, because if you remember Wilson having a pop at Richarlison, his partner in crime was Antonio, who's out of contract as well. Kurt Zuma is out of contract. You know, Kufal as a full.
Kufal, yeah, I think Kufal would be a good one, and Souček would cost money. I thought Souček was end of contract, but he's not by the looks of that. He must be still signed to West Ham.
Yeah, you have to pay let me just get rid of our banner for a moment at the bottom, and I can't believe we haven't even mentioned one of our top goal scorers, Craig Dawson.
Yeah,
and Semedo.
I remember on the show saying Craig Dawson was crap and he scored, so I'm not going to say about him ever again.
Twice.
Yeah, I know. I remember. Yeah, I said he's the weakling and he scored. Adam Lallana, alas. Yeah, that's good. I enjoyed that. I like that list, to be fair. I like having a look at the transfer list. We put a lot of graft in there for you listeners there to try and put everything on the screen and give you a good visualization of what's going on this transfer window. And we've covered everything. And some of you probably might come on and just want to see certain players. So you can just scroll through on YouTube and just go to the players that you want to listen to and have a listen to what the comments on us have said. Thanks, everyone, for jumping on. If you can hit the like before you go off, it's appreciated. We want to come off on loads of likes because we want this video to go at the top of the algorithm on YouTube and get views and get more Evertonians in the comments. There's been loads in the comments, though, haven't they, Paul? It makes me happy when we come on this Toffee Bluecast and there's been loads of Everton fans in the comments.
It's been good. And actually, before we came on live and people were in the comments, there's lots of people really happy that we came on. So we'll try and do it. We'll try and do it each week and catch up with you all and keep our ear to the ground and find out what's going on.
Well, now we've done. We had a holiday. We wasn't actually on holiday, but it was a holiday. now we've actually up to date and we've rounded everything off. This was a big roundup catch up. Now we're up to date. We'll try and drop more little regular shows where it's only 20 minutes. If we're linked to one player, we might even just talk about that one player. But we will, I promise, accomplish a short show. Get Dawson up front. Keenan Dawson up front, 4-4-2. Paul, what do you think?
Les Dawson. Dan doesn't know who Les Dawson is.
Do you know when you don't know what something is, just laugh like you know what it is, and then Paul will highlight you don't know what it is. I just laugh and pretend I know what it is, then Paul calls me out that I don't know what it is.
I'm only jealous. Only jealous.
But I like the banter anyway. I have been doing TikTok lives as well. People been going live on the TikToks. That's got 1,600 people on it now. The Toffee Bluecast TikTok. So we have TikTok now as well, which we can go live on that a couple of times as well. So we are building everything we can, ready for next season. Hit that like and subscribe. Get us to 10,000 subscribers before the season starts. And you're welcome, Paul. You are welcome. We love chatting to you. You know we love chatting to you. Up the top is everyone. That is it. Paul's going to go speak to his builders and say, "Get out of my house now. It's 11 o'clock. Come on. What are you doing?" My neighbours are going mad. Up the top is... I'm going to drop the banner now, but I've got that many transfer players on my screen. I can't find the actual banner. Eh? Where are we? Here we are. I have a boss one. Up the top is... I miss Everton already. Do you, Paul?
Yeah. Come back soon.
We'll come back. I want to watch Enjoy. The goats. See you later, everyone. Have a boss one. Up the top is Beto is the bull.